Hello, everyone. Pastor Dave again here. And today we're talking about the last war ever on earth. The last war. Now, some of you might think maybe Gog Magog war. Well, that's going to be one of the last wars, but that war is coming very soon, the way things are going in the Middle East. And once Israel has security and has no walls and no barriers, and it feels safe and secure from everyone. That war will happen when God just kind of pulls down the Gog Magog regime from the north, with probably Russia heading up everything, with different Islamic nations that come against Israel, along with Turkey and Libya and Put and so forth, Kush. But that is a different war. Then also, you might think, well, maybe it's the Armageddon. Well, Armageddon is the last war before Jesus comes back after the 7 year tribulation, and he comes down and he ends that war right at his second coming, and he comes down to stop the war, as he says, otherwise they would have no one really survive that war, what was going on earth for the 7 years, and especially that last war where everyone's coming again against Israel. So what is really the last war? Well, do you remember in the Bible it talks about after Jesus comes back at the end of the 7 year tribulation, that Satan is thrown in the pit and locked up for 1,000 years. And this is the 1,000 year period, the period where Jesus rules the earth as foretold in Bible prophecy. And for 1,000 years, Jesus is over all the earth. And the center of power and where the government will be from will be in Jerusalem. And everything will focus on Jerusalem and on Israel. And through Jesus, the whole earth will be ruled. It'll be a very peaceful time. It'll be a time where everything's prosperous. But during that time period, you have people that come from the tribulation that survive, the Jews that survive, and they are saved, but they're not perfect. So as they have children, the earth repopulates, children are born, and they still have a sin nature, just like their parents did. So Satan's locked up, can't tempt everyone, but still, at the end of the time talks about in Revelation 20, starting verse 7, it says, when the 1,000 years were over, Satan will be released from his prison, and he will go out and deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog. And most likely, that's not the same consortium of people or countries that came after Israel before. That's a term of this, like more of the spirit of Gog Magog that comes from Satan, will once again be on earth, and he will gather people to battle, and numbers that are like the sands of the seashore. They will march across the breadth of the earth that surrounded the camps of God's people, the city he loves, in Jerusalem. But fire came down, it says, from heaven and devoured them, and the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of the burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet had been thrown. They were tormented both night and day forever and ever. That's where, once again, the devil tries to conquer Jesus, conquer the earth, but that's it. But that is the last war on earth. After that, everything will be perfect. Everything will be in place. The earth will be remade, the new heaven and earth, and we'll be living as Christians with Jesus, God the Father, in heaven. I'm looking forward to it. Great day. But see, that's the last war. That's the war after the millennium, the 1,000 years of peace, prosperity, and Jesus ruling. But last war on earth is then. Last war during the regular time we're looking at after the church age during the tribulation, that will be Armageddon. But no, there's another Gog Magog war coming, where the devil tries to do it once again, but loses again and ends up where he belongs. Thanks for watching. Thanks for believing in Jesus. If you're not a believer, give your life to Jesus. And remember, keep on looking up. And he's coming back soon. But is he coming for you? I hope so. He's coming for me. I'm looking forward to it. God bless.